I'm making marble cake today. If ever there was a family recipe, this is definitely one of them. This cake is made in a 9 by 13 inch pan, and it sits on our counter all week long with a knife beside it, and we just slice it off and enjoy it as we go. It also has a streusel topping on top, so it could double as a coffee cake in the morning. It's really delicious. I've already separated 4 eggs and have beaten the egg whites to stiff peaks. I've set those aside and those will be added later. But right now I've got a ½ pound of unsalted butter in my mixing bowl, and I'm going to cream that along with 2 cups of sugar. It's just regular white sugar. Here it is. I'm going to add that to the bowl and cream that until it's nice and fluffy. Now that the sugar and the butter have been combined, I'm going to add the egg yolks and make sure that they're well mixed into the butter-sugar mixture. After that, I'm going to alternate by adding 2 cups of milk, 3 cups of flour that has also been sifted with the baking powder from the recipe. It's always a good idea to stop and scrape down your bowl so that all of the sugar or anything that you're mixing is well incorporated into the batter. You want a nice smooth batter when it goes into your pan for baking. And it's very likely that you can get those little extra lumps down at the bottom. So stop a couple of times and scrape down your bowl. Now I'm going to start adding the flour with the baking powder and the milk. I'm about halfway done adding the flour and the milk, but I'm going to stop one more time and scrape down my bowl. Now that that part of the batter is mixed, it's time to add the egg whites. Just going to place those in the bowl and just gently, with the paddle attachment, fold those into the batter. That's mostly mixed. I'll do it again with my spatula when I take it off the stand mixer. But now I'm going to add my flavorings. This cake takes a teaspoon of lemon extract, 1 teaspoon of almond extract, and 1 teaspoon of vanilla bean paste. 4 tablespoons of cocoa powder, 4 tablespoons of white sugar, and 1 teaspoon of almond extract has been mixed with enough cold water to form a smooth paste. I'm going to take about 1/3 of this batter, put it in a bowl, and then add the chocolate mixture to it. There we go. I'm going to mix it, but it doesn't have to be mixed thoroughly. This is a marble cake after all. Just enough so it kind of looks like marble cake. That's it. Now I'm going to take my prepared pan. Like I said, it's 9 by 13. I've greased it, but I've also put in a piece of parchment paper on the bottom. This just makes it easier if you want to remove it from the pan. I know somebody who's going to need a piece of cake this week, so I'm going to cut off a piece and save that for that person, and then we'll have the rest to enjoy. You could also cut that part in half and put it in the freezer. It freezes beautifully. I take half of the remaining batter and spread it into the bottom of the pan. Spread evenly so that it reaches all 4 corners. In the same way, take the chocolate marbled mixture and distribute that evenly on top of the first layer. Finally, you'll take the remaining white batter and place that on top of the marbled mixture. Okay, all my batter is in the pan. I've got the layer of white batter, then the chocolate batter, and then the rest of the white batter on top. Using a fork, place it in the batter and drag it back and forth to make beautiful swirls. Then go in the opposite direction, doing exactly the same thing. This evenly distributes the chocolate throughout the batter and makes a beautiful cake. To make the streusel, combine 1/2 cup sugar, 1/2 cup brown sugar, and 2 tablespoons cinnamon, and 1 stick of cold butter. Pulse in the food processor until well combined. At this point, start adding flour 1/2 cup at a time and pulse between each addition until you've reached a dry crumb consistency. Taste a little and don't be afraid to add more cinnamon if you think it needs it. It's been in the oven for 30 minutes, so I've taken it out. It's still quite liquidy, so be careful. But here's the streusel topping that we made, and I'm going to start just very gently sprinkling it around the edges. Like I said, you want to make sure every piece has this delicious streusel topping. Don't want to take too long because I want to get this back in the oven. After I've put the topping on, it'll go back in for about 3/4 of an hour. But I'm going to check it before then and see if it starts pulling away from the sides, which is a good indication, of course, that the cake is done. It's still quite liquidy, so you want to be very, very gentle as you're doing it. The cake is cooled, and I've cut myself a piece. I wanted you to see how beautiful the marbling is on all sides. Enjoy your marble cake. And remember, the fork is always on the left.